to our kids' Halloween wreath class. We're super excited that you're here. And first things first, I'm gonna show you what's gonna come in your kit depending on which wreath kit you purchased. So there were 3 different kits you could have chosen from. We have our haunted house, our pumpkin, and our sugar skull. And I'll show you what the 3 different ones look like towards the end. So depending on your kit, you'll get your wood piece for the middle. You're gonna get this gold hoop, 2 different lengths of tulle. So one is gonna be longer than the other. If you purchase the pumpkin kit, you'll get a little green vine. If you did the sugar skull, you're gonna get some flowers. And if you did the haunted house, you're gonna get a couple bats in your kit. Along with that, you should also have a little package. This is gonna be your lights. You're gonna get some small containers of acrylic paint and 1 of glue. And then you also wanna grab a jar of water, a napkin to clean off your brushes. So first thing you wanna do is paint your wooden cutout that you're gonna get in your kit. I'm painting the house, so I'm going to start with my purple acrylic paint because that's the color that I chose. You're also gonna get brushes in your kit, so you can choose your bigger brush to do the larger area. And a little goes a long way of this paint, so I don't even need that much. And you're just gonna paint your house however you want it to look. Something also to remember is that acrylic paint will stain. They're not like our normal glazes. So if you get this on your clothes, it's not gonna come out on the wash. Make sure you are covering the surfaces that you're painting on and wear clothes that you don't mind getting a little messy. So once you're finished with your painting, this is kind of what it's gonna look like. I added some little details on my roof and some little lines to make it look like there were bricks and the stairs going up to them. But you can make this however you wanna do it, any colors you'd like. The next thing you're gonna do, you wanna put that to the side to finish drying. You're gonna need your gold hoop and your 2 different lengths of tulle. So I'm gonna start with my longer length of tulle. And what you're gonna do, you kind of want to gather it like that, and you're going to fold it in half. So have the 2 ends meet together. And you want to find your loop. So I put my finger through the bottom loop just so I know where it is. And you're going to take it under your loop. And you're going to take your 2 ends, and you're just going to pull it through the other half, and then pull it tight, like that. So you should have this long little tulle tassel. So after your long strip, you're gonna take a shorter strip and do the same thing. I'm gonna gather it up, fold it in half so that my ends meet. The shorter ones are gonna be a little harder. You wanna feed it under your gold hoop, find your loop, and tuck your ends under it, like that. And then pull it tight and slide it over to your longer one, just like that. I'm gonna do one more just so you can see the pattern. So you wanna do a long one, a short one, go back to your long one, gather it under your hoop, pull it through the loop, pull it tight and slide it over. And that's how it's gonna look. You're gonna do that all the way around your hoop. Do long, short, long, short. So when you keep going with your pattern and you get all the way around your loop, it's gonna look something like this. And the 2 different lengths of tulle is what makes it look fluffy. Just like that. So the next thing that we're gonna do before we go back to our wood cut and before we put on any of our little extra things, you wanna put your lights on because you're gonna wrap it around your tulle. So your lights are gonna come in this little package and they're all wrapped around each other. They're made out of like a wire, so they're gonna be bendy, and you'll be able to see that when you come out and pull them out. It's gonna be a little bit to untangle them, so just take your time. Try not to pull when there's little knots like this. Just carefully undo them. So you have a nice long strand of lights. You're gonna take the end that doesn't have the battery pack on it, and you're gonna pick where you want to start your lights. And I'm just gonna take this, I'm gonna feed it under, come through the center of my loop, through my tulle, and I'm just gonna twist the end around a little bit, and that's gonna hold it in place so it won't fall off of my wreath. So just a few twists like that. Again, if you need help, feel free to ask your parents or guardians. And then you're just gonna wrap it around. So I'm gonna grab my end, so it's close by. I'm gonna go through the middle of my wreath, over the top, through the middle. You can turn it as you need so that it's easy to reach the different spots, and just keep doing that all the way around. As you go to, you'll see that it's starting to like bunch up my tulle. So once you have it where you want, you can pull the little strands out around your lights, so the light sits closer to the hoop. And you're just gonna do that all the way around your wreath. Okay, so I'm just finishing fixing my tulle strips so they look how I want them to look. And I have my wire all wrapped around, and I have this little battery pack hanging at the end. So all I'm gonna do, this is where I'm gonna stop. So I'm just gonna take my battery pack, I'm gonna wrap it around a couple times in the same area. And then I'm just gonna tuck it through this little loop so it'll kind of hold it. And you can check to see how it's gonna hang. So I'm gonna just lift it up. It's not too low, and the tulle kind of hides it, so I like where it's at. And then you can turn your lights on so you can see where they're sitting. And now you can move them around, like if you want to shift them at all, if you have too many lights in one area, but that's how that's gonna look. Okay, so the next thing we're gonna do is we are going to tie our woodcut to our wreath. So your woodcut comes with twine at the top of it, and that's how we're gonna secure it, so it's very easy. So all I did was I untied that little piece of twine. If you need help, feel free to ask. And I'm just gonna look for where my battery pack is. My battery pack's all the way down here, so I'm gonna go straight across and tie this up at the top. And you can move the tulle around. That's what's nice about the knots. So I can just like spread it apart so I can see where I need to go. I'm just gonna tie this tight. You want it to be right up against the hoop. And it's okay if your light strip is in there, because that'll just hold it on a little bit extra, so it'll have some extra support. I did 3 knots. You can do as many as you'd like, but once it's tied on, you can go ahead and cut this extra piece off. Now for the haunted house, you're gonna get some little bats to go with it. So I already glued a tiny one down at the bottom of my house because that's where I thought it looked the best. And I'm gonna take this big one. It came with some little stickies to put on the back. And I'm just gonna pick where I want him to sit. I think I'm gonna go right here. You just wanna press it down and he should be able to hold on. Okay, so now that we have our woodcut and our little extra add-on attached, I'm gonna show you how to put this long piece of twine on to hang it from. If you have a hook at home, you can hang it that way. But if you don't and need a little extra, we're gonna do this same technique that we did for the tulle. So I'm just gonna fold it in half so the ends meet at the bottom. I'm gonna find the top of my wreath where I tied the haunted house, go under the loop, pull it through the bottom, and pull it tight so it's attached that way. And then at the top, you're just gonna tie it like if you've ever tied a balloon. I'm just gonna wrap it around my fingers like this, tuck the ends under, and pull it tight. And there you have it. I'm just gonna turn your lights on and hang it where you want to hang it. We hope you enjoy this craft in class. Thank you so much for tuning in.